6th and 7th grade. So today we're going to go over or do an introduction to geography. So let's get started. So your I can statements for this lesson is number 1, I can explain how to locate points on Earth's surface. 2, analyze the best ways to show Earth's surface. 3, explain how to read maps. And 4, discuss the different kinds of maps. So what is geography? Geography is the study of human and non-human features of Earth, our home planet. So geographers have basic questions that they ask, and they are 1, where are things located? And 2, why are they there? So there are various types of directions that geographers use, and we actually use these every day in our life as well. The first one are cardinal directions. So that's north, south, east, and west. Then there are intermediate directions. These actually lie between the cardinal directions. So, for example, northwest is actually halfway between north and west. So there are various tools that geographers use on a daily basis in their profession. So let's get into those. Globes. That's the first one. A globe is just a model of Earth with the same round shape as Earth itself. It shows the continents and oceans of Earth much as they really are. So a globe is just a model depiction of what Earth looks like from outer space. Photographs. So there are various photographs that geographers use while they work. The first one are aerial photos. These are pictures of Earth's surface taken from the air, just like the picture on the left. Now, on the other hand, there are satellite images. Now, these are pictures from Earth's surface taken from a satellite in orbit, like the one on the right. So when you see on the news about a hurricane coming and you see Earth kind of looking like the photo on the right, then that is what we call a satellite image, and that image is coming from space. Geographic Information Systems, also known as GIS. Now, this is a computer-based system that stores and uses information linked to geographic locations. They are very useful to geographers and map makers. This is really like a kind of like a hard drive or a computer system that stores all of your files. And this one for geographers stores all of their information in order to find locations and map them out as well. Global Positioning System, also known as GPS. Now, it is a network of 24 satellites used to pinpoint locations on Earth with great accuracy. These satellites orbit the Earth twice a day just to make sure that we get the most accurate information when we are utilizing it to get where we need to go. So there are various ways of which GPS is used by certain groups of people. So geographers, they actually use this technology to study features and events on Earth's surface like storm systems. So remember I told you about the hurricanes or even a tsunami are all examples of storm systems that might track, or a GPS system might track that. People just like you and I, they use that in order to get to a destination. Miss Dunlap, I use this a lot. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going, so I use my GPS on my phone, aka Google Maps, to get where I need to go. and hikers. So hikers use a GPS system to find their way in the wilderness. When you're hiking on a trail, sometimes you might get lost in the wilderness, and that's not fun. So they use a GPS system to make sure that they stay in the right track or trail. So here are some pictures of a GPS. So on the right is mainly what we use on a daily basis on our phone. And then the one on the left is kind of the old school version, but they also have this available in some cars as well. And they use that to get where they need to go as well. So in this instance, there are many ways you can access GPS in several different devices. So the next one is digital maps. So they are just maps that are stored in a computer or electronic equipment. So a viewer of a digital map like me or you can select the type of map shown for a given area. Geographers use digital maps for different types of studies, like classifying soil types in an area or identifying features on the ocean floor. So they can go and utilize various ways to use digital maps. The opportunities are very endless on how they look at the data. So pictured here on the right is a digital map of Detroit. So as you can see, all of the cities here, as you can see, the key right here shows in the green, this dark green area is the Clinton River drainage basin. You can see lakes and all types of things. And then this little spot right here kind of shows where Detroit looks like as a whole in Michigan. So this is a map of Michigan, and then this little, what's in this red square is basically this map right here. Okay, and we'll get into parts of a map in your next video, so you'll know what all of these things here are on this map. Alright, so speaking of maps. I love maps. So let us get into that part. So a cartographer and cartography. So a cartographer is a person that makes maps, okay? But cartography is a science or practice of drawing maps. So if you can put it in a sentence, a cartographer practices cartography, right? So that's how cartographer and cartography fits into that space and how they fit into geography as a whole. And yes, it takes a very, very long time to make a map. It is not an easy task, but you'll actually be able to make a map yourself very soon. So you will know how long it takes to make a map, okay? So there are various types of map projections. So there are actually 3. So as you can see, I have 2 displayed here. There is the Robinson projection that is on the left and the Mercator projection on the right. Now, the Robinson projection shows nearly the correct size and shape of most land areas. Okay, so it is an accurate depiction of what the size of a particular landmass is on a map. Now, the map on the right, as we know, is the Mercator projection, and that projection makes maps area near the poles look bigger than they are. So it is here on the south, and on the north, it just makes those areas much more larger than what they are. But you also want to keep in mind the Robinson map is more of an accurate depiction, while the Mercator kind of makes things much larger than what they appear in certain areas. And then the next projection is the equal area projection. I like to call this the egg. This is the egg projection, right? So this projection, it actually shows the correct size of land masses, but their shapes are distorted. So size is good, but it looks a little distorted, right? Like you can tell that some of it seems a little weird, like much more longer than what it is. That's because each projection has some sort of distortion in each projection. So it really depends on what you're looking for in a particular for a particular map based on the projection that you choose. So that is it with the projection. So there's only 3. And that is it. So what we're going to do is the next video, we'll go over parts of a map. So stay tuned for that. If you have any questions, let me know. And let's go on to parts of a map.